Welcome to a Wednesday night CAVHQ Live. I am back. We are here. We are alive. How's everybody tonight? We hope all is well. We can hope, right? Hope is eternal. So, needless to say, I am back after being gone a week, taking care of some business things. I did see what some of the suggestions were for things that I was doing for this week. So thanks, James. It is not true that I have an OnlyFans site now. So whoever brought that up and thought I was taking care of that, that was a big loss, but funny. All right, Elmrin. Whoops. Oh, here we are. We're back. We're gone. We're here. My computer may not like all this stuff. Had been turned on for over a week, doing all kinds of updates. This thing on? Anybody there? Can you hear me? Bueller? Bueller? Hopefully I'm there. Either that or everybody's just overly quiet. Oh, what are my video cards? That must be because of me. Good. I just didn't see anybody else saying anything, so I was worried. Looks like my video card's trying to. Oh, let's see. Good day, fellow human. What the hell is this? Have you recently changed your perspective? Eating dinner. Oh, it it looks like the whole Twitter thing did cause the things to reset. So that's why you couldn't get on Monday night, James. Looks like Dana can't get on either. So we'll have to fix that later. Can't go that long without, apparently. Well, I just got back into town a couple hours ago, and my oldest daughter's birthday, so we had a little quick birthday dinner. So I kind of was rushed at the last minute to get up here and get things going. So we will get things caught up tomorrow for sure. All right. So what did I do this week? Well, I was down at Reaper. I had some things I needed to take care of down there. I did spend quite a bit of time while I was there working on some RPG things. Took some stuff with me since I was going to have time. And so anyway, but it was a good week. Got a lot of things accomplished that I needed to. Lots of little projects that needed to be moved ahead. We're getting ready to switch over to some new blister cards, all kinds of good things. And of good note, as you might have noticed here on my work table, is the dual cast Tuseki 2, which will actually be going up on the website for tomorrow. So you should be happy that dual cast is here, and we are going to start running them out the door here. So if you haven't had a chance to get a Tuseki 2 yet, they're coming up tomorrow. But I think you can kind of see with what we got here, very detailed, all ready to go. Very happy with the way they turned out. It's a 3-part model plus the stand. This goes into the back and the engines go on the top and you're good to go. They are ready to go. Yep. Well, and then like I said, we're going to get the rest of the aircraft out here coming up over the next. That's what I'm working on right now. Are all the aircraft that we had released in the third Kickstarter in resin. We're switching those all over to the dual cast, so they will be available, so that you do not have to spend $25 to get one. So I think that's cool. Needs to say tomorrow is a big day of catch up. Everything that's been going on while I've been gone. Because it just never seems like nothing gets done. Oh, I need an update. I need an update. Oh, what a night, right? Night. Well, and that's yeah, I mean that's part of the deal, but everything's coming back online and once we're still working out some of the bugs, but I think that we've got everything now down to where we're going, and hopefully we will be able to keep getting supplies in. Always something that one of the things that we addressed this week. Make sure that we've got all the stuff that we need to make molds and product and stuff. So, what else would you like me to talk about tonight? Sorry, I don't have a lot of stuff on the table. Like I said, it was all I'm just getting back into town today, so I didn't have really a chance to get. So hopefully get through tonight. I'm sorry, I'm wore out. Should have done some jumping jack. Get the old blood. Hi, Colonel Kane. How are you doing? How's the rib? Much better. I've not really noticed anything over the last week. The smoke plus 2 light woods block LOS. Yes. Assuming you're talking about on three different actual objects. Right. Not the indirect fire. Correct. What about smoke inside a light woods? Um, then you would count that as a basically it would be the same as a heavy woods as far as being obstructed. Smoke is an obscurant. It is not a cover terrain object where woods are. But yes, smoke inside of a light woods counts basically. Light the forest on fire. Yeah. Yeah, not was never a big fan of that of the smoke rules in battle. But also, you know, smoke cuts both ways. So if you're totally inside smoke, um, then you have to pay the same modifier to shoot out. So I was doing Stargrave one Saturday a month, and someone else has picked it up, thinking about exposing them to a CAV demo night. The boys do like their robots. Yeah, and actually, I don't can't tell you when exactly it was going to happen. I had me and James has actually talked about setting up, sitting down and statting up the stuff so that you can use CAV in Stargrave. Played a game of CAV last Saturday. Beautiful board, painted minis. Next table had BattleTech, paper hex map, unpainted gray plastic. Well, I hope you rubbed it in. Yeah, and I don't have anything against the hex maps or unpainted deal or whatever. And and BattleTech is good for that. If you go to a convention or a show or something like that, and you talk to a guy and you're like, hey, let's sit down and play a game of BattleTech. The way that's fine. It's great that it sets up and plays quick for the most part, as long as you got sheets or whatnot. But if I was going to take the time to plan a game, to hey, let's show up next weekend at the store. Let's sit down and play a game of BattleTech. I believe that I would try to do a little better with my game. But, you know, big chunk of the hobby is that side of things. We had to help them with the BattleTech rules. Oh, that explains a lot. I think I still have the hit tables memorized for BattleTech. It's funny. One evening, I was me and Ed, the president of Reaper. We were sitting around talking, and I was talking to him about CAV, the RPG, and everything like that. And he was very excited. He thought that was would be super super cool. So that gave me a little inspiration. It's always good for me to go down there. Because I'm sure we've talked about this area. Me and Ed, the owner of Reaper, have been really good friends for over 30 years. And so a lot of my time down there is just us kind of hanging out. And because of COVID, this is the first time I've been down there in almost 2 years. So it was really good to get out. It always kind of recharges my batteries when I get down there. So, you know, it was a good visit and good times. Ed is a great guy. Yes, he is. For sure. But I got a look at the new store that they're building. They think they're going to have it up and running by the end of the year, and we'll have a lot of room to spread out. And we talked about some CAV events that we'll be able to do down there. So you know, I'm looking forward for it to all be done and ready to go. What you know, one of the things that I discussed and talked about is um, it's there at Reaper HQ. It's just one lot over that they bought some land there next to buildings. But I one of the things I discussed, especially with the extra room that they're going to have and stuff, is we may try to move back to doing CavCon there on their at their store in an area that they have, and then that way at ReaperCon or something like that, we can just kind of concentrate on just some events and things. Well, like I said, it's going. They're expecting to be done by the end of the year, but keep our fingers. I hope too is here. I know I've been talking about it, but I'm trying to get the studio rearranged again, so I want to start just broadcasting from a game table. I'm hoping at some point next month. I'm getting the last since we expanded the deck. I've got the last of the artwork in. I just haven't laid it into the company that prints our cards for us is here in the U.S. So it's pretty quick turnaround. So I've got to get the last cards laid. I need to get back to painting too. I've got several things. I've got some new techniques that I want to try out. Uh, get all the airbrushing broke out again. Paint faster. Now I'm probably going to paint slower. Said with some of the stuff that I want to try out, it's probably my speed painting days are done with. I've got a couple of new terrain ideas in mind that I'd like to do, and so some of those are on the back burner while the more important stuff. Well, congratulations. You are 60 CAV models ahead of me. I've assembled a lot. But like I was talking about earlier, definitely I would like to try to stat some stuff up for Stargrave. So if you want to play a version of that. You cast them faster than it doesn't seem like that. We haven't had any new releases since the Kodiak and the which by the way, I don't think it ever came up on the deal, but both of those are back in stock. We had sold out of our initial run. Well, it's just a matter of switching it around. You won't be able to shoot everything at once. Or video card. That's if I ever get around to doing another game, that's actually that have whether vehicles, calves, or decks or whatever. Um, that's actually how I want to play with that going forward. Of course, it'll be a different scale, kind of more skirmish like. But you'll just fire one weapon system. The way the timing will work out with it, you might have let's just use a cav for example. You have a main firing weapon, indirect fire, rockets, and guided missiles. You'll just have to choose one of those to shoot. and I want to make, if you have rockets or missiles or whatever, I want those to be a lot more powerful than they would be like in CAV or whatever, but they would be limited. So if you actually had rockets or whatever, you might only have one shot or two shots out of them, and then you use it up rather than this unlimited pile of reloads. Oh, I love the Mambas. I actually was talking to one of the guys down at Reaper I've known for a long time. We were visiting about them, and I'm trying to think of a kind of a rat patrol type scenario. Use them for. Well, we've got the dictator. Yeah, only unlimited for your dice allowed. That is true. I just think that it would be cool to have, only, whatever rockets or missiles that you actually see or whatever. Once they're shot, they're shot. Um, that it makes you decide, when you really think you need. 28 millimeter I believe is 1/60th. As 32 millimeter is 1/56. That's another one of those that everybody's got a little bit of wiggle room in there, but I think 28 millimeter is 60th. No, I'm really, I've kind of played around, thinking about from time to time about doing another game. Um, I'm kind of torn between, um, I thought about 15 millimeter scale, and then I think 20 millimeter scale would be a really great scale. It's not one you see a whole lot outside of. It was a big time. It was a World War II scale that was really cool. But 28 millimeter or 15 millimeter. The 15 millimeter would at least allow you to have more vehicle. 28 millimeter would. Spaceships. I never say never, but I doubt that I'll. I have been thinking about doing a even a larger scale deck plan for a ship or something scenario. Kind of about years ago when I was still playing BattleTech, I modeled up the interior of a couple of decks of it. It was an Overlord class dropship, and that the decks got inside and fighting on site. Oh, it was a lot of. Yeah, well, I love space. I think spaceships are cool, and I'd like to do a spaceship game in the sense of I could think of, of what a spaceship game deals. But it's just, yeah, without a big name to keep everybody interested in it, you can fly around in so in my mind. I think back to the game. I played. Um, Fossa did the Search for Spock or Star Trek 3 or something, uh, which was a really good a set rule to play Star Trek. Played Starfleet Battles. That was younger. I played Aerospace with the BattleTech games and Aerotech, but it just for a while it just that's the way I'm kind of towards plane game, World War One, World War Two type plane game. Kind of a nice game, to go to a show and play once in every blue moon for something new, but it's not something I could play. And I love World War II ship games. I played General Quarters and two or three other things like that, but same thing. I sail around the ocean somewhere. I'm just more of a terrain. It's just like bored with a lot of terrain. You're limited space or and hopefully by next week I'll have the large scale Starhawk 7. Um, no, no, I would say Hot Wheels are probably oh maybe 1/100th, 20th. Yeah, I think 1/64th is like 25 millimeters. That would I would say because that would be about right because at 25 millimeter scale, basically 1 inch equals 6 feet. So got a 2 inch Hot Wheel, about 1/120th. Um, well, that's quite the scale to be playing in. Because I think HO scale is like one 1/80th or sixth. Well, if that's what they claim they are, then what they think they can be. I don't see how Hot Wheels 60. Because basically at 1/64th scale, you're saying that 1 inch equals a little over 5 feet. So I think a car is longer than 5. I could be wrong. Like I said, I just, you know, 1/60th is 20 millimeter. Scale can be kind of funny. So maybe got my number. I mean, obviously, I mean, we always, when we played Car Wars back in the day, we played with Hot. That's how we did it. Just took Hot Wheel cars and stripped them down and glued on their games. I guess if you're, I mean, if a Hot Wheels car is, I don't know, 2 inches long, um, that would put it around 10 feet. Who knows? Only the shadow. It is October. Is the witching month. Trying to think. Remember. Well, yeah, I mean, because it's, I mean, if it is truly, I mean, if they're scaling to Hot Wheels cars, why would you pay for cars? That's just silly. There's so many different Hot Wheel cars out there. Hell, there used to be two or three companies that had miniature lines. That's all they were was add-ons for you to take Hot Wheels cars and turn them into cars from the Badlands and everything like that. Matter of fact, I think I don't know if they still do it, but Trenchworks I think had a bunch of resin pieces for a long time that they had available that you could glue onto or glue onto cars. Yeah, there would be if they made it the same scale as Hot Wheels. There's no way I'd ever buy a miniature from them for that. I know that they did a Kickstarter. I'm assuming that that's probably that they're done with the Kickstarter and now coming out with the rules for retail. And if you have access to a 3D printer, I mean, I know on Thingiverse there are a zillion files on there for all kinds of little snap-on guns and whatnot. Not to mention there's who knows how many toy lines that are out there that are knockoffs of Hot Wheels and stuff like that that they've done, tanks and Hummers and all kinds of stuff. Their website has the pre-orders for retail. Yeah, I know they did a Kickstarter last year, I think, maybe. So I guess they finally got it ready to roll. Yeah, that's just you're you're choosing a scale that there's already a billion things out there, and then you're trying to come out with $150. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's billions of things out there on, like I said, on Thingiverse that you can download to add stuff to. I love Car Wars. We played the living tar out of Car Wars, but like I said, we played Car Wars with Hot Wheels back then. We scaled up all the templates and everything. So and there's just so many so many, you know, action figures and stuff like that, that the guns, you can cut pieces off of those or whatever and add to a car. And it looks, I can't remember all the different models we used to cut stuff off to build our. Well, obviously, at some point they're going to have the rule book separate. You know, I mean, they're probably still going to be looking for $30 or $40 for a rule book, but you know, give it 4 or 5 months, and they'll start showing up on eBay and stuff for $20. People that got them and go, you know, it's not as great as I thought it was going to be. They're all basically the same, Colonel Kane. So I mean, the original set that we played came in the little plastic pocket game, whatever kind of thing like that, and there's nothing wrong with those rules. It's all about, you know, driving in phases and speed and making maneuvers and shooting each other. All right, so let's get back on target with CAV. Yeah, that's the way all the original ones were cardboard. I probably still have mine somewhere. I know for a long time I had a little hobby drawer thingy or whatever with all the little drawers that had all the stuff in there for oil slicks and things like that. I did. Of course, we've been talking about, you know, the JOR and doing things and stuff like that. And I think one of the things we did talk about, and I was talking about somebody that last week or whatever, 2 weeks ago, um, that where we are, the new release for the Tuseki 2 is going to be tomorrow. Be up on the website tomorrow. And then we'll just be getting the rest of them out over the next 3 or 4 weeks as far as the aircraft, when you'll just start seeing stuff over and over. Probably have quite a few right here at the beginning just to try to knock out some of the stuff that we've talked about and been showing, because we've got so many stuff backed up. It's just as masters are coming in, we can get them molded. But I think one of the things that we talked about doing, and I'll probably do some color plates in the first JOR, but I think it's also that we can put it up on as a download. JOR is probably all books are moved until probably March of next year. Just with everything that's been going on and everything else that's in the way, we just have not been able to get everything finished up and be able to get them to a point where they're ready to send off to the printer. And the other side of the thing is we don't know where we're going to get them printed. Obviously, with all the problems and everything like that, I don't know. We're not going to be able to use a couple of printers that we've used in the past. Here, because obviously, and hopefully, because of this, maybe printing in the U.S. will become a little more doable. But here's a crazy example to tell you how things go. The shipping container that I paid for that brought all the models for Kickstarter 3 came over, and it cost me a little over $4,000 to have that container brought in, all the way from China down to the dock down at Reaper. That same container, if I had it shipped right now, cost $28,000. So, I mean, that's just nuts. So we're in kind of the same situation. Is we can use our printers that we've used in the past to print books, but books are heavy. Books take up a lot of space, and it does me no good to go over and get a printer and then have to pay $28,000 for a container. Exactly. Well, and it's so bad. You have, I don't know if you've seen the stories with like Home Depot and Costco and everything. They are actually going out now and leasing entire ships and containers to do nothing but go over to China or wherever and pick their stuff up and bring it back because of the costs that they're being charged by shipping companies. Walmart's doing it. There's a whole list of them that are doing it, but they are literally leasing entire ships. I don't do print on demand. I don't like print on demand. It's overly expensive, and you don't get nearly the product. From a consumer standpoint, they're not bad. If you go on Amazon and there's an out of print book that you can get from a print on demand, and they charge you $15 or $20 and send you the book, that's fine. From a publisher side, they don't work for us at all. But that's where the other side of that is now. Now that we're looking at what the cost to print the book overseas and with shipping and everything, maybe some printers in the U.S. will be a little more easier to deal with. And that's the worst part about it, is the shipping is just across the board. I mean, even, bringing something across from Europe or something, you're still going to be running into a crap load of printing or shipping costs. On that same token, because of the backup at like Long Beach and everything, with all the ships and everything, these companies that are leasing their own ships and stuff are bringing them into ports that are not not near at the level of use as like Long Beach or Houston or something like that. They're bringing them into, Seattle and stuff like that because they can get the ship docked and get their stuff off the ship. But we'll get it worked out. So we're not where we can get it right this minute. But what I was talking about about collar plates and stuff like that is we've got so many units, so many color schemes and everything that we want to try to get out there. What I'm thinking about doing is doing like a whole sheet of, let's say if we're doing all rock paint schemes, is we will come up with a sheet of nothing but, front views or maybe front and side views of the dictator for the rock and repeat that over and over and over. And on each set, actually go in and illustrate the particular paint scheme for a particular unit. That way we can have a whole page that's nothing but paint schemes with unit names, unit logos, and everything like that, that you'll just be able to look at, oh, okay, I want to be these guys, and here's the paint scheme, rather than, try to do a few here or a few there. And probably, like I said, initially, we can put that out as a PDF, a downloadable thing or whatever, with some to get started. And then depending on where we are with space and the JR, for each faction, we can go in and put a color plate in there for them as well with the same kind of option. But I think that would be something that's relatively easy and quick to do and would get a lot more information out there quicker. Well, and you're talking about the Badlands spruce set for CAV. I don't know if we've talked about this at length or whatever, but with the rules update, close combat is gone as far as, CAV versus CAV or whatever. And in CAV, close combat was never punching and kicking and everything. It's an abstracted in close fighting system. But what I would like to go back and do is put together a set of dueling, Coliseum type fighting rules that are actually, CAV that actually go in and are equipped with hatchets or whatever, to fight for in games or like that, or, you could do, like a Mad Max type of scenario or whatever, that, they're on some backwards planet with a few calves and have run out of ammo and everything years ago. And now they're actually, that's the only way that they can do anything is running around and pounding on each other. So that could be kind of cool. We actually had rules at one point for calves to have hands and everything like that. So the rule base is out there for that already. It's not something it's never been released, but it wouldn't be anything that would be hard for us to get out there pretty quick. But that's just for another project down the road that we've talked about. Okay, so we're kind of down to the last 5 minutes tonight. Anything else CAV related that you would, or Talon Games related, you'd like me to talk about a little bit, or? I'll have the MDF kit for the new building up this week as well. I got everything finished up for it. I just got to get it listed up. And what are some other things you guys would like us to look at and see about doing an MDF? I've talked about, I'm working on a CAV, kind of a repair bay, kind of a small base or whatever, fortress walls, gates, things like that for building bases. I have some smoke um, um, deals. Of course, some of that's going to be in acrylic, but some smoke templates and stuff like that that you'll be able to put up for if you're trying to put like a smoke line down or whatever. Um, some versions of, like the temporary barrier walls and stuff like that. Those are out there. The counters, we're going to have counters available pretty soon. I put off that a little bit because we were waiting until we got a little further ahead on the rules update, because some of the counters that we'd originally designed are not going to be there anymore and we don't need. Can we get some CAV logo disc golf disc printer? I don't know. I guess if we could find somewhere to buy some blank ones, if we could find somewhere to buy some blank ones, I could put stuff on them. I guess you'd have to hope that they were good frisbees. I know I talked to Ed. He was real excited. We talked a lot about MDF and stuff that we can do for Reaper as well and stuff. And we talked about a couple of maybe paintbrush holders and stuff like that. CAV coasters. I guess you mean more. Well, I mean, we did the coasters for our virtual CAVCon this year for Drake Beer, so we still have some of those available. All right. Well, if there's not anything big to go over, Drake Beer. I've talked a couple of times to a local brewery we have here. I'm hoping that we can still get something to kind of come through on that. I think that would be cool to come up with our own beer. All right, so that's gonna do it for me tonight. I'm ready to go home and go to bed. Go ahead and get a good running start again. So anyway, thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate the support. We've got new stuff coming out this week. We'll have more new stuff next week. So keep your eyes open. Um, I still get strange looks from other parents when my son wears the Drake Beer shirt. I bet. So anyway, well, it's good to be back too. James will be back. We'll be on Monday night, and we'll be good to go from there forward. We'll have some new stuff for you next week. Take care, guys. Be cool.